Hello YouTube, I'm galacticmarine501 slash checksumwolfx, yeah, as always, and sorry about that, I had something on my face. But anyway, yeah, I come to you today bringing you something that, could quite possibly be a review that I forgot, like, I missed. I don't know if I actually did these guys, I couldn't find reviews of them, however, I could have reviewed them at some point, but anyway, sort of. I don't even know if these were before I had a channel. Seems like I've had a channel for quite a while now. But yeah, this is the death wish, the last wave of Bionicle, probably like one of the least memorable waves. Yet for long-time collectors like me, it was my favorite wave. There's one figure, he's going to be the second to last, because I did do an upgrade on him that you'll see in there. One figure that I really wasn't happy that we didn't get gold with. Those of you who have had this line will know what I'm talking about. The Bionicle Stars line. The final wave of Bionicle that was ever released. There was one figure in this line that had never been released before. That wasn't actually a canonical character in the Bionicle universe. And that was the Rockshi. There was never a yellow Rockshi. The Rockshi that was supposed to be the Earth Rockshi was brown. Because back then, the Earth Toa was brown. The Earth Toa later, through some series of crazy events, became yellow. And then, I believe Earth got replaced by Dark or something. I believe Skrull was Earth in Glatorians. Like, I don't know. Skrull replaced Earth, I think. But anyway, yeah, he's yellow. He never was in there. He's wielding the Water Trident, which is really the only one of the Rockshi weapons that would fit on this new size. Trust me, I tried. I wanted to give him one of my two favorites, I tried to give him the original Earth ones. They look terrible. I tried to give him the Fire ones. They look terrible. The Ice ones, they look terrible. I wish I had one to show you, because, I mean, it's comedically funny how weird they looked. I mean, okay, I actually have one of Golly's hooks. One of the original Toa Golly's hooks in the bottom. Not in the right color, obviously, because it came from a later set. But yeah, here's the original size. I mean, even this would look too big, and this is smaller. The hook was smaller than the Rockshi weapons. And it still looks a little too big. But yeah, he's got the same limited arm posability as the original Rockshi, considering he's holding a giant bow staff weapon. So he can do some, like, bow staff poses where he can just, like, move his arm around a little bit. You can get some decent poses by sort of having one arm out and the other back, and him looking off towards what he's stabbing. But they did kind of screw up the neck by making the neck and the spine one whole piece. And there is no Krata in this guy. There's no Krata. The original Rockshi had this gimmick where you press down their heads and then it shot this Krata out of it. Like the back would pop open and a Krata would shoot out. A Krata was a little slug. And in the movie, their face opened up and the Krata was in their mouth. But they shot the Krata, and it was sort of like the Krana that the Borak had. That if it hit the face of the Toa, like, it could control them. But in the movie, their spears were what would make the Toa turn evil. Tahu got hit with it in the eye, and so he had that green scar through his eye. They actually made that mask. They injection molded a red and green Tahu Nuva mask, which there were a few ways to get it. one way, or the original way to get it was you could get it by buying the Bionicle shoes at Nordstrom's, which is a store. And the second way was you could get it by hang on. There. That's about as epic a pose as you can get with this guy. And it's mostly in the legs. Like, I tried to get him in a nice wide stance to make it look like he's fighting. There. Like, have him shooting, because these staffs could shoot at the ends, I remember. Like, they had energy bolts or something. I don't know. But anyway, nice. The Bionicle stars are really nice. I mean, and they each came with a piece of the golden armor. I want to say this guy's piece was one of these things. There were only like a few options with the pieces. The three parts it could have been are either this, or this. Either one of these. The shield, either the shield, this piece, which was the bottom of the sword, or one of these, which there were 3 of. Now there are only 2 of these guys who I know for sure what theirs were. And that's Tahu and Takanuva. Because I know Tahu had the mask and Takanuva had one of these, because Takanuva was the first one I got, because he's my favorite Toa of all time. In fact, I have the giant Takanuva, the Shadow Takanuva, on my shelf. And Takanuva is going to be the one that's second to last, because I made a second mode for him. I seem to remember making a video of that. If I did, then I'll show it to you guys again. Sorry. But I'm going to re-review these with my sort of better reviewing skills now. Yeah, so actually I'm going to fit these all into one review. Whatever. You know? Here's the second bad guy. I think it was Vizak was his name. Now, he has his... I wanted to say he has his original weapon, but he doesn't. This is one of the weapons from the second to last. Those Sky, the ones that flew. I think the red one had these. One of them had these. One of the Sky ones had these, I think. And then they added this piece to the bottom, which was so overused that I don't even know who had it originally. It's one of those pieces that you've seen so many times, and I have like 50 of them. I don't know whose dagger it was originally. But yeah, this weapon is the least accurate out of all of them, I think. I don't know, Strex is pretty inaccurate. Takanuva's is really more accurate to the show than anything else, or to the movie than anything else, because he did have sort of the Coley stick, the Coley thing, that he had a Coley fight with Makuta for some reason. Like, Makuta is a sports fan? What? But yeah. The spine is a new spine. Yeah, it's a lot more spiky than the original Piraka spines were. The original ones had a spine and then 2 arm spines. This guy has 2 arms, 2 spines going into his head, spikes on his head, and then spikes on his arms as well. So, a lot more heavy on the spikes than the originals. And then he's got this mouth that looks like he's grumpy. And it's really a stylized face. This isn't what the face was originally. It was a lot... It reminds me of it, yet it's different. And that's good. I mean, I like the new face as well. But, yeah, they stylized a lot of them. The Rakshi is the one that I think kept the face structure the most original. For the ones that they restylized. The Glatorians, the masks are the same. They gave you 2 Glatorians in the series. The masks are the same. In fact, a lot of the parts are the same, and it's kind of funny. the Skrull somehow got Kopaka's sword for some stupid reason. I don't know. But anyway, Gresh has his same mask and his same weapon. And the Skrull has the same mask and the same shoulder plates. But at least they changed up the colors. The Skrull was originally red and black. Now he's green and black. And Gresh's shield was originally light green and dark green, and now it's silver. So shield slash blades. But anyway, let's get into Gresh next. No, let's do the last baddie first. The Skrull. The Skrull is basically, well, he's a Skrull. He's got these things on his shoulders which have issues with his arm articulation. You can't have him have both arms out at the same time. He can pull one up that way, but if you try to do both, then it looks really weird up top. And the fact that he's got this long thing on his mask as well. Yeah. I hate it when they have ball joints that they just blatantly don't use. And 2 out of 3 bad guys had that. Wait, did the Rakshi not use the ball joint at all? No, actually, the Rakshi used the ball joint. The ball joint actually went into the spine. Here, let me take off the spine to show you the back part. I would have loved to see the return of the Krata gimmick, but yeah. You see, there is a little square in which it sat, in which the ball joint sat. And that sort of held it on there a little better and kept it in the right place. So when this spine on top doesn't move back and forth as much as it would if that ball joint wasn't there. But this guy just doesn't benefit from the fact that there's a ball joint on his back. It just looks like, you know, here's what it looks like you could do if you got bored at some point. I'm going to use Takanuva's head just cuz. Oh yeah, and for some reason Takanuva had dual wielded in this line, which he didn't in the movie. But hey, dual wielding Takanuva is pretty cool. So yeah, it looks like he could almost be like a dual personality. Like, hey, or like have this guy fight with the arms and have the other guy fight with the blades. Like, have them be fighting simultaneously. Like, yeah. This guy's arms be the blades. That actually looks pretty cool. I don't know why, but I'm thinking of getting one of the heads of one of the old Fantica ones and socking it on there. Sorry, I'm stuttering today. I don't know why. And socking it on there and making some type of dual-headed creature. But yeah, this guy, I would have loved to have seen 2 more earlier Bionicles instead of getting remakes of the previous, of like 2 series prior. These guys were new. These guys were like Glatorians. Glatorian had 2 waves, and then they went away too. But these guys were relatively new. They didn't need remolds. If we could have gotten maybe a Toa Mari, or who I would have loved to see remade was oh god, what was his name? Karapar, the Baraki. The Baraki were my favorite. I still have Karapar together. I've rebuilt him 3 times with new parts. He got so much play. Yeah. I still have him together. I actually upgraded him. I bought a second Karapar, made a crab at some point, made one of the crabs that he controlled. Then, when that broke down, I used it to upgrade him. I gave him a second armor part on his back, and then I gave him like all of this extra armor on him. Yeah, I would have loved to see him get a... And, I mean... Then again, they had the Earth guy with the, Rakshi, so he probably wouldn't have gotten one. But if they had taken this guy out... Wait, he's Earth too, so... They could have done it. But if they had taken this guy out, they could have done him. Then they could have done, Jala Marhi with his crab and his awesome sword. Actually, I think this is his sword. I want to say this is his sword. This is a pretty cool sword. Actually, you can install 2 little posts into this sword, and I'm actually making like Hero Factory super modes for some of the figures, mostly the Savage Planet figures, in which I invert the colors. Like, I take the color of the hero core and I make that the base color, and I have the hero core. I have hero cores all over them. I'll show you those sometime. Actually, I have 3 modes for them now. And again, this guy either came with one of these, or one of these. I don't remember which one he came with. He came with a golden armor part. They all did. And yeah, he was a great figure. Now, on to the second Glatorian, who did not need a remake. I mean, the Glatorians were new. They were relatively new, so they didn't need remakes. And also, this guy was the mold breaker out of all of them. He had the most original parts. These parts for the arms and the chest, those aren't on any other guy. Yet they were new to this series. Yeah, this guy does not have a new part on him. All these parts are made for other series. Everybody else has some part that was made just for this series. Oh yeah, that's actually kind of sad. That guy has nothing that was made just for this series. I think they ran out of a budget and just said, hey, let's do these 2 Glatorians because we already have most of the parts. Yeah, that's sad. It really is. But yeah, he's got his shield, but instead of the marbled colors, they went with silver. And just like the original release, which was about a year earlier, yeah, I'm really sour about that. I think we could have gotten something much better. He can do the swords, the sword modes. You can either hold them straight up and down as swords, like so, or you can hold them across his arms like swords, like arm blades. Tonfa, if you will. Stab somebody with this end, then slash them with the side. They're pretty cool weapons. I mean, I have to admit, I like them in silver, and if I find another Gresh, I'm definitely going to get a few more of him, just to get a few more of these swords, because I really like the curve to them that they have in Tonfa mode. And they actually make great swords, too, and a great shield. I mean, these are really nice multi-purpose weapons here. The original was great, too. He had more articulation. If you could find that one, I would suggest that one over this one. But if you like 4 of these guys, if there are 4 of the guys in this series that you want to get, which the 4 for me were the Paraka, Takanuva, Tahu, and the Rakshi, because they were the reboots, then this series is worth it. If you want like 2 of these or so, then this series is not worth it to you. Okay, so now let's get on to the 2 best figures in this line. Takanuva, who before I had all 6, I had him, this guy, and no, I know what golden part the Rakshi came with. The Rakshi came with another one of these. No, I believe he came with this, actually. I don't know what the Rakshi actually came with. I want to say it was either one of these or this piece here. Because these 2 were this guy and Takanuva were the first 2 I got. I got them at the Lego store because I really liked the retro Bionicles. I was gonna pick up Tahu, but I didn't have enough money. But yeah, Takanuva, always my favorite Toa of all time. Now, I actually made a second mode for him, and all you need to complete this mode is the original Takanuva. And this guy. Now, what you need from the original is his mask, first off, and his shoulder plates. Just 2 of these. And this is going to be what I call the classic Takanuva mode. What you do is you take off this guy's shoulder plates. And I do believe that Bionicle may have thought of this when they made this figure. However, because the whole gimmick of the series was to create the Golden Bionicle, having the Golden Bionicle as one of the characters would have sort of lost the plot. So I believe they made this guy. If any of you guys were enough into the series that you read some of the backstory comics, then you may have remembered that there was a scene where Takanuva actually got infected by dark energy, lost his powers, then became the big Shadow Takanuva by gaining more power. So I think this was right after he was infected. And by using his golden piece, you can make a pretty nice golden Takanuva. And without his piece, swap it back to the white, you still have a lot more gold on there that is reminiscent of the original Takanuva. And I have checked, you can barely, if you flip his chest around, you can fit his original chest plate on, which is good, and you can do that as well. But yeah, he's pretty cool. And if you take one of these off, he's a lot closer to the original. The original only had one spear. / Coley ball thrower. Sorry, my voice cracked. I have... Sorry, I'm tired. Anyway. On to the final figure in the line, who came with the golden mask, which actually was a reference to the end of the series where they were just the Toa, in which they had to collect their golden masks, and they had those mask boxes. Those were such a pain in the butt. I mean, I went through getting 2 of every silver mask before I got a whole set of gold. And, I had every mask from the first series. Every white one, every red one, and every black one. I was missing 2 of the green ones, and 1 blue one. And 1 brown one. Yeah. So, yeah. I was close. And if my voice is really off here, sorry. It's weird. I mean, I'm watching the video, and it's playing my voice back about a second late. But yeah. Here's his mask. Great. That's great. We'll get into that transformation in a few minutes. Here's the figure. Now, without this, let's drop this. That was on the original figure. But yeah, he looks a lot better and a lot more classic like this. And this guy really brings back some memories. But yeah. Now, let's armor him up. Get him into this position first. And you're going to need to take this piece off, whether you do. Whether you like it or not. Or don't like it, like I do. And the reason you have his hand down is because he sort of goes a little Kopaka on us. He has a shield. Which is the, claw from galacticmarine501's. I had, I think, every Bionicle that was made. I think they should have continued with it instead of going into Hero Factory. Even though I love Hero Factory, I like I like how the plot has changed with Hero Factory. It's something new, and they don't have to come up with new names like Gurok and Suvatak or something like that. Gurok actually is close enough to Galak that they probably couldn't get away with it. And Gurok, which was actually another guy. Gurok. It was like Garok or something. It was not Gurok, but it was close enough that it would sound too similar. There we go. And here's Golden Tahu. This guy was a fitting end to Bionicle. They ended the way they started. with a shining golden hero. Yeah, I'm really sad that Bionicle is gone. But in a way, I'm happy. I can't reach Bulk. He's over there. Because I do like the Hero Factory heroes. The first season was kind of like, really, this is what we're getting now. But now they've kind of nailed down the smaller size. These guys were like, they had really limited articulation. You could tell that these were sort of the death of Bionicle. That these were like, yeah, we're gonna give you one last hurrah, one last day in the sun, and that's it. I was hoping for Stars Waves, like, I was hoping they'd keep these going for a while. Well, they had something else going on, but yeah. Now these guys are gonna go back on my shelf. I'm actually gonna film one more review tonight of my favorite Transformer of all time. But that's it for Bionicle Stars. Sorry this review has been so long, but I did just go through 6 Lego sets, so yeah. I'll see you guys at the next review, which is going to be of Decepticon Wreckage, and will be up momentarily.